Thank you, Aaron. Good morning. It's my immense pleasure to introduce the next speaker, Professor Abhay Karandikar. Professor Abhay Karandikar is one of our own, and I worked with him for the last few years as I served on the IIT Kanpur Foundation. Professor Abhay Karandikar is currently Secretary to the Government of India Department of Science and Technology. Before joining as Secretary in October 2023, he served as the Director of IIT Kanpur from April 18, 2018 to September 25, 2023. He also served as Dean of Faculty Affairs and Head of Electrical Engineering Department at IIT Bombay. He spearheaded a national effort in setting up Telecom Standards Development Society of India, TSDSI, India's standard body for telecom. Professor Karandikar was part of the founding member and former chairman of TSDSI. He was also member part-time of Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, during 2018 to 2021. Professor Karandikar and his group has made extensive contributions to 5G and beyond 5G standards in IEEE, 3GPP, and ITU. Please welcome Professor Abhay Karandikar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's indeed a privilege to be a part of this group. As you know that I'm also an alumnus, an IIT Kanpur alumnus, and I also had the distinction of returning back to my alma mater to serve in the leadership role between 2018 to 2023. Today I will give you a brief overview of science, technology, and innovation. Some of the initiatives that our country has taken, but more specifically from the point of view of the Ministry of Science and Technology, where I'm currently the Secretary. In our Ministry of Science and Technology, if you don't know what the ministry is doing, ministry is focusing on institutional and human capacity building. That is one of our primary objectives. We have been focusing on taking science to the people. So science communication is also one of the goals. We have large programs on technologies for rural empowerment and grassroots innovations. We also do science and technology for sustainable development. So we have initiated programs in climate research, energy transition, clean energy, so on. The Ministry of Science and Technology is also responsible for science diplomacy on behalf of the Government of India. We are also involved in initiating large programs in developing indigenous technology towards the goal of making our country self-reliant and Atmanirbhar Bharat. As you know that we have made several impactful innovations in the recent years. All of you know about the soft landing on the moon, Chandrayaan-3 mission. More recently, Aditya mission of ISRO's Sun mission. We had 104 satellites launched in a single flight by ISRO, which was also a significant record. In last few years, we have 100-fold jump in the number of startups. Today, for example, we have more than 100,000 startups. All of you know about the story of COVID-19 vaccine, and India today is also one of the top producers of not only the vaccines, but also the generic drugs. We have 1 million kilometers of optical fiber laid under the BharatNet program. We have the Secretary Telecom, who is also an IIT Kanpur alumnus. I hope he will be talking about this in his talk. Today, almost 50% of the world's digital transactions are happening now from India. And this is really a significant milestone that we have achieved in setting up a digital public goods infrastructure. And we have also developed an indigenously developed 4G and 5G stack. The 4G stack is getting deployed, and you will see soon the deployment of the indigenously developed 5G stack with our telecom operators. And since I have been a part of this, I will briefly elucidate on that aspect as well. From the Ministry of Science and Technology, we have some major interventions. With the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, we are having a major national supercomputing mission. In the next ongoing mission, we are aiming for developing technology for exascale computing. We have recently liberalized the geospatial data access and storage policy in the form of geospatial data guidelines. We are also focusing on women-led technology entrepreneurship. We have a program on attracting the best talents from all over the world to India, which is called Inspire. We have also done interventions in digitizing the heritage of the country. And also, as I mentioned, that we have programs in climate change, in clean energy, and several other national missions. Now, going forward, one major step that the Government of India has taken up is to set up the National Research Foundation, which will be very similar to what the National Science Foundation is there in the US. The bill was approved in the Parliament in this August 2023, and the Department of Science and Technology, my ministry, is in the process of operationalizing the National Research Foundation. The NRF will be the single nodal R&D funding agency for not only the basic sciences research, but also the setting up the strategic research direction. NRF will also be responsible for promoting innovation and entrepreneurship in science and technology field. We will also foster the interdisciplinary research, advance the environmental and earth sciences research, and also facilitate the technology transfer, including translating research into the commercial applications. The National Research Foundation was one of the recommendations of the new education policy that was put in place by the Ministry of Education, and with a substantial R&D grants that the Government of India has approved, we believe that the NRF will prove to be a game changer in changing the R&D landscape of the country in the coming years. NRF is going to focus, these are going to be the major key areas of the NRF, the clean energy, telecom, AI, advanced materials, quantum computing, bioengineering, transportation and logistics, disaster management, sustainable agriculture, smart manufacturing, frontiers in natural sciences, and also we will work on issues such as policy, ethics, regulatory and other social issues which involves the technology development and deployment. As we recognize that, since all of you are from IT, we recognize that a lot of untapped talents exist in the tier 2, tier 3 institutions in the country as well. And in the NRF, we have consciously worked towards creating a model for helping the tier 2, tier 3 institutes and universities to upscale their R&D infrastructure and improve the capacity in terms of research and innovations in these institutions. NRF will also be setting up a robust R&D programs in partnership with the state government, and particularly in the state universities and colleges. We will also fund several programs which can nurture academically proficient workforce, which will be capable of doing an impactful research, advancing the India's science and technology landscape. In NRF, and I believe that we will be rolling out in the next 2-3 months itself, we will have a component of the international collaborations and partnership. We are also in talks with the NSF and other agencies to do the joint collaborative R&D with both, the US and other universities in the world to develop a robust international partnership with the Indian academia and industry. In NRF, we are also focusing on the industry and academia collaboration, and there is a provision in the Act for incentivizing the private sector for the enhanced R&D investment. As you know that in India, the R&D investment still continues to be a small fraction of the GDP, and if you want to increase the investments in the R&D, it cannot just come from the government funding alone. We also need the private sector participations in the R&D programs. We will be setting up the clusters of science and technology clusters for solving the industry relevant research problems. And we will also streamline the science, technology, and innovation governance in the country. And finally, the NRF will consolidate all the other line ministries' R&D programs to synergize the expertise and also the resources that are available across different government departments and ministries. Apart from NRF, the Department of Science and Technology has several missions. We already have a very large mission on cyber physical system. We have a mission on electric mobility mission. We have a mission on clean energy, and we have a mission on geospatial technology. More recently, we have launched a national quantum mission, and I will just briefly tell you about the quantum mission. But first, the interdisciplinary cyber physical system mission. This mission was launched in December 2018, and under this mission, we have set up 25 mission hubs across the country. Most of them have been in IITs. For example, we have a cyber security center at IIT Kanpur. We have a medical cobotics center at IIT Delhi. We have a center which is working on agri-tech and IoT at IIT Bombay. We have a center which has been working on AR, VR, and digital heritage at IIT Jodhpur, and so on. These missions have successfully contributed to the technology development, and we believe that we are now in the process of going to the phase 2 of the mission, where we can leverage the research that has happened in this mission to translate them into the commercial products. The National Quantum Mission was approved in this year in October 2023, and we will be soon setting up the 4 thematic hubs in the area of quantum computing, quantum communication, quantum sensing, and quantum materials and devices. The overall objective of the mission is to focus on groundbreaking translational research and generate the high-quality skilled manpower. The government of India has already committed almost close to $1 billion, about 7,000 crores, and we hope that this funding will catalyze the quantum sciences and technology research in the country. I will also briefly talk about the India's 5G journey, where I was personally involved. It started in 2016 when India put up our requirements of low mobility large cell as one of the key requiremts to be taken into ITU. At that time, when the 5G requirements were being discussed in ITU, the IIT2020 requirements were talking of the rural configuration where the vehicular speed will be 100 kilometers per hour and very small cell sizes, which was obviously not the requirements of India. We changed that requirement to have a very low mobility, like 30 kilometer speed or even lower, and the large cell sizes. This requirement was finally approved as one of the user configurations in IIT2020. And the standards, India standards body TSDSI submitted its own technology to meet these requirements in the ITU, which was also accepted as one of the candidate 5G technology. And finally, thus 5GI standard got merged into the 3GPP release 17 in 2022. And this was really a major win for us, where we could get some of our IPRs as a part of 3GPP release 17, which is actually a 5G plus standard. We had launched a pan-IIT 5G India stack project, where IIT Madras, IIT Bombay, IIT Hyderabad, IIT Kanpur, and IIT Delhi were involved, along with IISc Bangalore, Samir, CVIT, and CDOT. And as a result of this, a complete 5G India stack, where we had a fully functional 5G eNode B and the 5G core network was developed. This technology has now been transferred to the Tata Group, and I hope we will see the commercial rollout of IIT-developed 5G India stack soon in the next few years. In the Department of Science and Technology, and in general in India, as I said, that the startup ecosystem has seen a significant boost in the recent years. We have about 100,000 plus startups. The Government of India has set up about 170 incubators across the country, and many of these incubators are working in premier institutions such as IITs and NITs. The Department of Science and Technology has been running this program called NIDHI, which is National Initiative for Developing and Harnessing Innovations. And under these programs, we have been funding these incubators, and through the incubators, we have been actually investing in the startups itself. In fact, about 12,000 startups have been directly or indirectly been funded by the Department of Science and Technology through incubators and through these NIDHI programs. Some of these startups, and many of them, have been founded by IIT alumni. For example, the Idea Forge, which was incubated in IIT Bombay, which had a major IPO, Atomberg Technologies, Nokark, which developed the ventilator during COVID-19, Agnicool, which has developed a launch vehicles, Aether Energy, Botlet Dynamics. All these startups got the initial funding from the Department of Science and Technology through our incubation programs. And these are all the great success stories which have come out of India, and most of them have been in IIT incubators and IIT alumni-led startups. We have recently done a major reform in the geospatial sectors. As you know that earlier, it was really very difficult to get the geospatial data from India, particularly from Survey of India. The new guideline, which was rolled out by the Department of Science and Technology, now you require no security clearance or prior approval. Self-certification is sufficient, and foreign entities can license the data from the Indian entities. And we also had a new geospatial policy last year, and this geospatial policy is bringing transformation and reforms in the survey of India. For example, we are setting up a new geospatial data registry. We are setting up a unified geospatial data exchange through which the industry can actually exchange the geospatial data. And we will also be setting up the technology parks and the geospatial incubation center to promote the technology development in the geospatial area. The Department of Science and Technology runs a very large program for women in science and engineering. For example, we have a program to retain the women in science and establish their re-entry into the science and technology sector. There are many outstanding women scientists who have done PhDs and postdocs and have had a brilliant academic career but had a gap in their career. And if they want to return back to the science and technology and engineering streams back, the Department of Science and Technology is running a program called Vice Kiran, under which we are giving the funding support to such women researchers. We are also having several programs for enhancing the contribution of the women to Indian science. We are also encouraging some of the women-only universities in the country. There are about 3 such women-only universities to upgrade their R&D infrastructure. And of course, we have several avenues for the capacity building, knowledge and skill enhancement, right from the school level that the ministry is involved in. The Department of Science and Technology is involved in very large-scale international collaborations. India is a part of several mega science projects. For example, during this trip, I had an opportunity to visit the site of the 30-meter telescope, which is coming up at Hawaii. India is a founding member partner. We are also part of several mega science facilities which are in Germany. We will soon become now, for example, the part of the square kilometer array which will come up in Australia, and so on. And in these mega science facilities, we are contributing both in cash and in kind, so that these research facilities for advancing the frontiers in science and engineering will become available to the Indian scientists. So we have a program for scientist-to-scientist linkages. We have a program for international engagements through several institutional and university programs. We can also run joint call for proposals with several international agencies, like with NSF, for example, UKRI from UK, from Germany, from the federal government of Germany and France, and so on. And of course, as I mentioned, that we are also part of several mega science projects like CERN and LIGO, 30-meter telescopes, FAIR, square kilometer array, and so on. Finally, I would just like to summarize by saying that our Honorable Prime Minister had launched the Viksit Bharat at 2047, the vision. And as you know that India can become Viksit Bharat, or a strong nation, only if we are strong in science and technology. And in this context, the government has already taken several initiatives. The National Research Foundation is one of the major initiatives that we have taken. This will have, right now the government has allocated about 14,000 crores, but we expect that the total budget spent will be about 50,000 crores in the next 5 years. We are going to have enhanced focus on critical and emerging technologies. We are soon launching out the National Mission for AI, which will be done by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. I already talked about the quantum mission, and we will soon be rolling out the national supercomputing missions of next phase to go to exascale computing. We will be focusing now on deep tech startups. The government, we will soon launch a deep tech startup policy, which will be currently is in the draft stage. And I hope that will get finalized in the next 1 month or so. And we hope that in the next 20 years or so, we will be able to place our country among the top 10 nations in the Global Innovation Index ranking by not only doing innovations and entrepreneurships and technology development, but also increasing the capacity in terms of increasing the number of full-time equivalent R&D personnel in the country. And I hope that with all these initiatives and the current enthusiasm, the capacity of young India that we have in the country, and several leading academic institutions' strength, and with all of your support, we will be able to become a global S&T leader in the next 25 years, by 2047. Thank you very much. I think I'll be happy to take up any questions.